That's so funny. Just imagine. I don't care. I have. That's disgusting.
She's sweating mostly. She went to
Watch James Snapchat for you.
I don't have James on Snapchat, but that's so funny. Wait, did you get it out?
Well, it's been in rice.
It's on your chair. What do you need? What happened?
Those are fun.
I think Leo should. Yeah, no, right this
What did you think? We know that, right? Wait, is it like?
Yeah, but it's
my first one today. But to be fair, I'll lost a lot of
What do you think of that? I'm losing class today.
I'm sure you know.
I want to be with that. He hates me.
That's everything.
Yeah, and it was literally consistent. And Michigan called him saying that they wanted.
Sorry, please.
And then Morgan's like, okay, you're
Come on, see you.
But apparently he doesn't have which clothes are buddy not?
No, I printed those. What are those? Right.
He needs them?
He has them now.
Disgusting. I'm sorry I put that on you.
Rash. Where do you get it? I have no idea.
But it's in rice. It's a spot.
I call this meeting to order at 5:05 p.m. If there are no objections, we will approve the minutes as sent out. If there are no objections, we will move into new business. Vice President Riggins.
Okay. I move that in accordance with the appointment committee, the UCA SGA appoint Mary Grace Clark as the new graduate representative and Abigail Hall as the new College of Education representative.
Are there any objections? Sorry. Are there any objections? No? Okay. Well, okay. Are there any students here for open forum? Yes, please take the floor.
Hi everybody, I am Erin Selvage and this is my Lincoln. We are both students in UCA's ROTC program. On the 24th this month, we will be hosting a 5K.
The proceeds go to the Awards for Foundation and the debt funds. So if you're asking from SGA to be the main sponsor of this 5K, which will be hosted here on UCA's campus. We'll have a logo on the back of the t-shirt that's primarily, if you are a permanent company, it'll be on the top of it. We'll also have a banner, placement, and table for SGA.
So we plan on making this 5K be an annual thing. We want it to be something that can bring all of UCA together as well as people outside of UCA. And it really makes our school look great, as well as serving a great cause with the Warriors Sports Foundation. What we are asking is that you become a sponsor so that for now, like later years, we'll be able to get more sponsors from businesses and other businesses. This is our first year doing it. It's a little harder to get a sponsor. After adding up the cost of everything that we have, we are asking for
$1,100, which will go towards Rick's admin fees, Fort John, and Racing Business.
Does anyone have any questions? Yes, Vice President Bach.
Would you mind emailing that to me? My email, I don't have a card in here and I apologize, but right outside it's Ryan Fack. You can grab one of my cards and just email me that breakdown of that list.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
Are there any other questions? No? Okay. Do you have your hand up?
No.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for coming. Yeah, and you guys are good to go. Oh, Senator Cheer. Oh, yes.
All right. So when do you need to have this money by?
Preferably a week prior, but that would be Wednesday, so before the weekend, because the race is 2 weeks out.
Thank you guys so much for coming. Okay. So we will move into presenters. We have Ms. Treslin Fletcher here. She is with Relay for Life, and so if there are no objections, I'll suspend the rules to 10 minutes to allow her to present. Okay.
Like she said, my name is Treslin Fletcher. I'm a senior here on campus, and I'm also the event coordinator for UCA's Relay for Life event. If you're not familiar with what Relay for Life is, it sounds like a race or a 5K, but it's not. It's actually quite the opposite. We're pretty lazy. We have a lot of fun. There's a track set up in the Ferris Center on the night of Friday, April the 6th, and it starts at 6 p.m. And it's basically a fundraising event. All the proceeds that we raise go to the American Cancer Society, where they can do some cancer research to help find a cure, but they also provide aid to cancer patients and their families to help make the burden a little bit lighter financially for those cancer patients. This is the 7th year that UCA has had a Relay for Life event on campus, and last year we raised over $13,000 for the American Cancer Society, and we had over 600 students in attendance, so it gets bigger and better every year. And so I'm just here today to invite all of you personally to come to the event and to take on this information and spread it to your respective departments and your professors and your friends, residence halls, clubs, organizations that you're a part of. Let me make sure I don't stray away from my notes. So, like I said, there's going to be a lot of free stuff, some food for sale and different goods and services, lots of different games. And it's just basically a night full of fun where we like to all rally around the same cause. The theme this year, every year we try to have a different fun theme. This year is a music theme, so our little tagline is putting cancer on pause. So do with that as you may. You can come dress up like your favorite music character. We're going to have lots of different fun music-themed games like karaoke and different fun things like that. So with your exec, I've left some handouts on how to create a team. So if SGA themselves is interested in making a team, we would love to have you guys support. That means you can come to the event if you register a team online, or you can donate online if you don't think that you'll be able to come to the event, but you'd still like to support the cause. So I left instructions up here on how to create a team. I also left instructions on how to participate in our lip sync battle that we're going to have at the event. Like I said, the theme this year was music, so we thought we'd have a little bit of fun and have a lip sync battle. So you can compete individually or in a group of around 2 to 5 people. So if you're interested in doing that, there's also some forms up here that you can take a picture of and email to us to get submitted for that competition. The winners get some cool prizes. Again, two couple of last things I want to talk about. We have an event t-shirt, like a lot of other events here on campus, and we're giving RSOs a little deal where if they donate at least $100 worth of goods or services or money that goes toward the donations for American Cancer Society, you can have your logo put on the back of the shirt. So if SGA or any of your organizations are interested in doing that, you can contact me, and my email is on the bottom of those flyers that I gave the exec. One last thing. So last year that I really liked that SGA did was they had a Kicks for a Cure meeting. So I know that y'all are required to dress up every week for this meeting, and something fun that y'all did last year was you all made it permissible for everyone to wear whatever shoes they wanted. So sneakers, tennis shoes, anything they wanted that was comfortable for you guys, as long as you paid, at least $1 or you gave some coins for like a coin drive. So I was wanting to know if y'all were interested in doing that again. I can leave that up for y'all to discuss and vote on and everything like that. But again, I would love for you guys to do that. If you do, let me know so I can come back and take a picture and put it on our Instagram. So, do y'all have any questions for me? Yeah.
So if you're interested in doing something like that, so we would have to make a motion to suspend the rules on a certain day to do that. So we can, about when we want that to be.
And if you decide on one, just have somebody let me know, and I'll come and take your guys' picture and say thanks. Yeah. Any more questions? Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming. Okay, so I will go into my report, and I apologize. I meant to do this during open forum, but just to address Oscar, the student that came last week during open forum that talked about the insurance for international students, I'm going to yield to Senator Sierra so we can give you guys an update on what's been happening.
So last week I've been really busy. I went and talked to Dr. Bailey and met with Oscar and other students, as well as a professor from the music department. Basically, what we're working on is trying to work on the rules and try to see what we can change about this policy that is affecting new students. And the provost and President Davis, they both know about this. Dr. Bailey had a meeting today with the provost. I haven't gotten anything, like an email or any update from Dr. Bailey, but I'll be emailing him tonight. So yeah, things are going on. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, so thank you so much to Senator Aldrich and Senator Sierra. Senator Sierra has been calling me almost every night for the past week, which is great. So thank you for your hard work on working on this. And again, more updates to come. Okay, so into my report, Dean of Student Search Committee. Vice President McAfee and Senator Watkins will be representing SGA on the search committee, so round of applause to them. It's a huge time commitment, so thank you guys for volunteering your time to be a part of this important search. Another search process, so Senator Burton and I serve on the Provost Search Committee, so we are in the search of a new provost, and we will be interviewing 11 candidates this Thursday and Friday, like 8 to 6 almost each day. So we will be in Little Rock doing that, so more updates to come for that, and we're extremely excited and honored to be a part of the process and represent students. And so just wanted to give you an update. The 1 Billion Rising event, so I mentioned this in the past, but the event is tomorrow from 9 to 3, and we need volunteers from 10 to 11 and 12 to 1, mainly those 2 time slots, or just 12 to 2 in general, but if any of you, I know Senator DePersion, Senator Gilbreth said that they could come, and then someone else for like a little bit. But if you guys are able to come during any of those time slots, please get in contact with either myself or Vice President McAfee. We will be having a table where we'll be giving out SGA buttons for all students that complete all of the 6 stations. And so we want to make sure that SGA is there and that you guys have an opportunity to engage with some of your constituents. And so if you're interested in that, let me know. And that is all that I have. So, oh, sorry. It's in 213. Student Center 213. Yes. What other questions do you guys have? Any? No? Okay, Vice President Riggins?
Okay, I think my ideal please, both of you, I need you to help me pass it out. And I'm doing this now so you wouldn't be looking at it and distracted. This will be the second point that I get to, so we'll come around to that. First off, rules and ethics, we're going to meet very briefly after Senate. And also, if you are submitting an appeal to rules and ethics to remove the merits or something, there is now a place for you to add additional documentation. So we would appreciate that as a committee if you have like a doctor's excuse or something that we could look at. I understand if you even black out personal information, or if you don't want me to share that with the committee, but it helps them make the decision, and they've been asking for that in the past. So please just go ahead and attach that additionally. Cool. So now to the next part. We'll start with a really fun one. What you have in front of you is kind of a little invite and menu invitation to our 3/4 year retreat. This is a new thing we're really excited about. It will be a fun little thing we're going to do the same day as Day at the Capitol. So to keep kind of the momentum going and just keep it having good spirits, we're going to do meeting that night at Holly's. And we will arrange for a carpool situation if you do not have transportation to get there. So no worries on that one. We're going to get that one figured out. So what we've got here is I've got information kind of at the top to help you know more about what's going on. And then the bottom part is the fun part. It's the voting. So the first little section is options with meat. So if you would like to eat an option that has meat, circle the meat option that you prefer. But do know that whatever option is picked, if you picked meat, that is the option you will eat. So if you're not okay with every meat option, go with the vegetarian option, which would be circle 3 of the veggies listed at the bottom as options you would be okay with. If the options selected are not good with your dietary restrictions, I will let you know what the selected options are and we will work something out. Then at the very bottom is your dessert options. You can have cake or pie or no sweets, but you cannot have cake and pie. I cannot promise what the pie will be, but I know that cake options are chocolate or strawberry. You do not get to pick chocolate or strawberry. You take a gamble on what comes before you. So, you make your cost-benefit analysis, whatever you gotta do, and decide what happens. Now, this is what you will eat as well. So if you circle veggie, I expect you to eat that. If you circle a meat, don't eat the veggie, because we're paying by the plate. So you need to remember what it is, write your name at the top, and I'll let you know what you picked. Okay. And there will be a rules suspension for this date in new business that I have already cooked up. So if you're worried about that, I got you already. Okay, the next kind of big thing we got going on, March 6th is the interest meeting for spring elections, and that is very close. Tears. You'll be leaving soon. Yeah, so if you're interested in any spring position, which would be exec or sophomore, junior, or senior class officers, which would be vice president and president, please come to that meeting. It's not mandatory, but it does give you a good sense of what's going on. It will be at 5 o'clock, and it will be in this room. That is a Tuesday night. Oh, March 6th. Sorry, Sean. Yeah, and then also if you're interested in what we're doing, please come talk to us. I've received interest, and I never received. So, yeah, just kind of in general. Go hit us up. Are there, what question? The Senator Gilbert has a question.
Do I understand?
Yes.
So, can we just buy our own thing there separately?
No.
Okay.
It's gonna, so it's going to be catered. So whatever option we pick is the option that's the only option that will be here that night. So I'm very sorry, but that's kind of how it works. We can't ask them, so like all the meat options, that's usually like one day they do that meat option, and then one day they do a different meat option. So we're just asking them on this night to pick the meat option that we pick. But also you'll notice fried chicken and country fried steak happen every day. So that'll be part of whatever happens. So that's a good fallback, not a red meat.
So just a little background, Holly's is only open from 10 to 2, so we will be the only ones in Holly's, so they won't be open for business. So again, whatever is here. Okay. What other questions do you guys have? Oh, Senator Hawkins?
I just want to say that I have like really bad like shrimp allergy, so be away like a lot better.
Oh, okay, so let's go ahead and scratch the fish choice.
If you have if you have like a severe allergy to something, please let Vice President Riggins know.
There will be no fried fish, fried shrimp, or Mexican beef. I'm very sorry. Please go, I think on Fridays to get that option.
Senator Willing?
Oh, okay, so in the name, it does say Holly's Country Cooking, and I will tell you, it is. So, it's just quality all around. I enjoy chicken for the most part.
Boneless ribs, good.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
It's all good.
if a group of you guys want to discuss this, feel free to hang out after Senate meeting and discuss this. This is a very important choice, and so if you do have questions, feel free to hang out. And some of you all, that are experts with Hollies, please advise those of us that are not.
And also do note, we're still gonna do committee reports, so this isn't just dinner and leave. We still have business to do. We're not gonna do like new business, but we're gonna do committee reporting.
Yeah. What other questions do you all have? Senator DeForgia.
Yeah, so at the Capitol, like that's
No, there will be a gap in between the time that we go back to the Capitol and the time that we start eating dinner. So you'll notice this is a jeans evening with t-shirts. We may have David Capitol shirts. If we do, prime opportunity to show your stuff. But if not, then a different t-shirt is acceptable. But it's a casual environment. Please still wear business professional to get to Capitol.
And you don't, if you want to show up wearing business casual to this, you can certainly do so. Senator Gilbert.
Okay, so for Day at the Capitol, are we all going together as a group, or can we drive alone? Because I actually can leave campus, and I was just wondering if I need to be around campus real early, or
You
if I need to make a way to do that.
Yes.
We can all be in the bus. Yeah. Okay.
I just want to make sure that
Yeah.
I make my other question.
Yes, good question. Yes,
I have
Senator.
a question, for those that may be a part of PLF and SGA, can you ride on the bus with SGA?
It's the same bus.
It's the same, okay.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's the same bus. We're all going together. Yeah.
You're so good at that.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. What other questions do you all have? Is that it?
I was so excited.
Thank you for researching these wonderful options for us. Oh, okay. Vice President McAfee.
Okay. I wanted to give a shout out to our new senators, Senator Clark and Hall, right? Okay, welcome. We're so excited to have all of you here, each of you here. So I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. I did this to the other senators. So if you just don't mind standing and telling just a little bit about yourself, like where you're from, your major, and your classification. Let's go with that.
Well, my name is Amy Grace. I grew up in North Little Rock, Arkansas. I actually completed my undergraduate here. I got my bachelor's in public education last May. And in the fall, I started as a graduate student in occupational therapy. And it's Dr. Turner now, so I'll be doing that until August of 2020. So I'll be around for a little while. But I did SGA last year, and I really loved it. And then I actually ran into Vice President McAfee at Old Navy, and she told me there was a spot open and that I should apply for it, and I really enjoyed it last year. And I was kind of looking for something to get involved with besides just graduate school, because I still wanted to be involved on campus. So I thought this was really great to do it.
Welcome. Welcome back.
All right, hey, my name is Abby Hall. I'm from Bryant, and there's K-12. I'm a sophomore middle-level education major concentrating in science and social studies. So I'll be a science social studies teacher when I get out. And I'm really excited to be here. I was really looking for different ways to get involved on campus, and this opportunity I just came upon it by chance and really didn't think I was going to get very far in it. But here I am. I'm very excited to be here. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, welcome. All right, so like I said, we're so excited to have you. If you will stay behind, I think we're doing a small training anyway, but I need to take pictures of you for our website, so yay. Okay, next is, I'm lost, UCA trivia. So, let me find my piece of paper, and then I'll be more prepared. Who can name both of President Davis's dogs?
Senator Stogg.
Winston and Elvis.
Yay! So yes,
There's a third
I'm
one.
obsessed.
There's a third one. They just got to be
Yeah.
No, that's Winston.
that's Winston. There's only two.
Yeah.
Oh, the cat. The cat. Sorry.
Nobody likes cats. I'm just kidding. Everybody likes cats. Okay, congratulations, Ashley. I have a little pin for you in my office.
That's so exciting.
Okay. So last but not least, thank you so much for all of the love with Senator of the Week. PR had a great time deciding who will be our Senator of the Week. and this senator is definitely deserving, so it really doesn't that hard. But it was said about this senator that the continuous work and passion that is given to their constituents and their ability to seek out resources and answers to anyone who needs it, as well as his fun and positive spirit, is contagious on SGA. So, Senator Sierra, congratulations! That Senator Sierra has worked very tirelessly this week, but also weeks prior and all of his time on SGA, so we really appreciate you. Congratulations. I have your certificate and little present in my office.
Thank you.
All right, that's all.
Thank you.
What questions do you all have for Vice President McAfee? None? Okay, Vice President Powell.
Okay, so this is kind of beating a dead horse, so I'll make it very quick because, like Vice President Reagan said, elections are coming up, and like she said, please come talk to us if y'all are interested. I really encourage y'all, if you are interested, to seek us out quickly, because there's a lot of things, I know especially for my position, that once someone expresses interest, I'm going to go ahead and start asking that you come in so I can start prepping you on some of the material that I go through just kind of on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. My position is pretty technical, so there's a lot of paperwork that's very like type specific on how things are filled out. So I ask that, again, if you're interested, you let me know quickly. I've had an interest, not interests like Vice President Reagan, so not as special. But really, if you are interested, please come talk to us soon. And that also kind of helps y'all get an idea of what you want to do for the future. Kind of helps each of you start planning if you know right away kind of what you're interested in. So I encourage y'all to do that quickly. Next, staff reminders. So hopefully this is the last one. Next week, obviously, is SAPA itself. So the next week are the hearings. Week after that's deliberations. So if you were on the committee, you know that you're on the committee. Great. I, as well as Vice President Reagan, has been kind of doing some shuffling, making sure we fill some of the gaps of people that are maybe having to step off and such. So if you've been reached out to by one of us and you know that you will be sitting on the committee, great. I'm going to ask that if you do know that you're on the committee, that we meet for like 3 minutes after Senate is over, and I'll make an announcement at the end just to kind of remind us all. But this is just so I'd rather make some of these nitpicky kind of announcements to the committee just real quickly in person rather than over email, just so I can kind of walk y'all through some very basics of what to expect. So please just meet me real quick, and that way it also lets me know who doesn't know that they're on the committee. So, Bear Boots update, great. So, we made a motion the other week about allocating some funds towards Bear Boots, and this would kind of subsidize some of the costs for the students who would be attending. And this was with the knowledge that about 15 students had already signed up when they were anticipating paying the full $185. Obviously, the money that we allocated went towards cutting that $185 down to $100 per student. And as of this afternoon, all of the spots have been filled, and there's a wait list of 13 people. So that obviously helped a lot in kind of expediting that process of filling up that bus that we'll be sending. So we definitely have a full bus that'll be going down to New Orleans over spring break. So I just wanted to kind of remind you that the things we are doing are helping a lot of students not only have fun, but also do things to help other communities that obviously need our help. So great work there, and hopefully we can kind of continue projects like this and kind of expanding not only on what we can do, but also what the university can do for communities outside of us. So great work, and that's pretty exciting, guys.
Is anyone going to the Bear Boots on the ground trip? No? Miss Sharp? Awesome. Okay. Are there any questions for Vice President Bob? Okay, we will go. Yes, Senator Gilbert.
Have you considered, since there's already an overflow, of potentially getting a second bus through other donations?
So that opens up a lot of can of worms, lots of cans of worms, partially because, again, that would require that we had additional chaperones, so we need more faculty staff members to come. Not only would it be an additional bus, but that would also be, we'd have to consider if those students would have to pay the $185, or if we're going to pitch in another $5,000 to cut down costs on them. it's a lot of things to consider in a very short amount of time. It's pretty unlikely that it'll happen. But what we're hoping is that this is kind of an inaugural trip. So we hope that it kind of is continued throughout the years as something, and we can vary where we go, what we do. But we're hoping that there is an option for students to continue to do this throughout the years. So hopefully it'll grow, and then maybe we'll see, maybe 2, maybe 3, 4 buses, something like that. So.
What other questions do you all have? Okay, we will go into standing committee reports, academic affairs, Senator Ed Sarah.
Okay, so Senator Kilgore has done a lot of research on freshman career assessments, and we do offer something at UCA, but the process for it is a little odd. So you have to go on to Career Services website and make an appointment to go and take the career assessment, and then you have to make another appointment the following week to get the results and sit down with basically a career counselor. So she's reaching out to Career Services to find out if there's a way to, 1, streamline that process because it's not very accessible to students, and then 2, figure out how they publicize that and promote that that is something we offer to students. Because I don't know how many of you knew about this, but I didn't know this existed. And I'm a junior at UCA, so that might be a bit of an issue. So she's still working on that, so great work. Senator Ramirez is working with Erica Gutierrez to work on how, if it's even possible, for us to translate the UCA website into other languages besides English. And we're not very sure the feasibility of that, what all would need to occur for that to happen. So we'll continue to work on that and bring you more updates. Senator Gomez is working on doing more research on test prep. We discussed, Dr. Tarka had brought up that we've done something like that in the past with other departments, and the programs were pulled, just not as successful as they had hoped. So we are kind of re-exploring those possibilities to see what some additional options would be, and hopefully I'll have more information in the coming weeks to bring back to you guys. Just kind of the last thing I want to do is just an academic college shout out. So for the College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, there are 13 students that will be at the Arkansas State Capitol on Wednesday doing posters at the Capitol. So there are 13 students from the departments of Math, Biology, Chemistry, Physical Science, and Computer Science presenting undergraduate and graduate research. So great job. And that is all I have for academic papers.
Yes, round of applause for those students. What questions do you all have? Okay, diversity, Senator Marley.
Hello. So we had our RSW committee this past week, and it was a huge success. So hopefully we still have to get it. It was great. So thanks for everybody who came and all that kind of stuff. So now our committee will be meeting on Fridays at 8 o'clock in the morning. Yay. And our next set of goals is to start planning the WOC program for March 29th and diversity fair on March 30th.
Awesome. Thank you guys for doing the honors for Winston Winkle. So, round of applause. Lots of round of applause. Okay. What questions do you all have? Do you have your hand up? Okay. No, you're fine. Okay. SBAC, Senator Burton.
So we have finalized the dates of the fee hearings for the semester. March 6th, which is the Tuesday that we were talking about earlier. We'll have 2 hearings from 1:30 to 2, and then 2 to 2:30. Neither of those spots have been claimed right now, so they will be claimed very soon. March 8th, which is that Thursday, from 2 to 2:30 will be the library fee. From 2:30 to 3 is the technology fee, and then March 13th is our very own Mr. Richard Hammond's hybrid fee at 1:40, so the beginning of next period. So we are in a holding pattern, and we're continuing to discuss the process.
Awesome. What questions do you all have? Okay. We will go into goal committee reports. Campus interaction, Senator Miller.
Hello. Our goal committee met for the first time today, so yay, interaction. But yeah, so that's great. One of our key goals for the semester, you'll hear me talk about it for the rest of the year, is small communication. And Vice President Bath had a really good point for me and exec on Thursday to contact the UCA archives to see if they could pull like programs, their stuff I was able to get into contact with Ben. And he is working the director right now, and I should have a reply by Wednesday. So that's good. We're moving forward on that. And then all of you guys should have an email in your inbox from Senator Ladera. She sent one to the entire Senate, and we all checked our phones, so it's there. Everybody should have got it, even if people. For the Meet Your Senator campaign, her and Senator Sandra have been working hard on that. We've already highlighted almost all of the executive board, so that's super exciting. So whenever that does get on social media, I just ask for y'all to comment, like, engage, that's really good. And just to reply so that we can talk about you because you're all awesome and everybody wants to know more. And then we're still working forward with our tradition booklets, things like that. So we are making progress here.
Awesome. What questions do you all have? Okay. Then we'll go to Housing and Food, Senator McGarry.
So we were meeting at 8 a.m. on Thursday, so we decided to change it to 8:30 now to get some more sleep, I guess. And we are researching gender neutral housing and overnight programs for prospective students. And then one overnight program that we really are interested in kind of, I guess, replicating or kind of just looking at an example. We call Tulsa Time, and it's from the University of Tulsa. And then we talked to Joe Neighbors about 2 weeks ago. We asked him about getting avocados in the cafeteria and then strawberries. And I noticed that those were both in the cafeteria last week, so that's pretty cool. And so we wanted to have a cookout for the food service workers, kind of show our appreciation towards them. And I got a group of Joe Neighbors today to do this.
What questions do you all have? Okay. Internal Affairs, Senator Morrison.
So we're kind of still wrapping up our demerit bylaw thing. We had one more thing to fix, and so we did that, and we're looking at moving forward to looking at committee structure now, maybe moving some full committees to standing committees and clarifying some senator requirements.
Awesome. What questions do you all have? Okay. Outreach, Senator Stock.
So just a quick update to get the Capitol. That was the biggest news. So after Day of the Capitol, after a full morning of SGA and lobbying, we will just be able to come back and chill and have some hollies, and it's going to be great. Departure time again for that morning, we're going to leave from Reynolds at 8:30, so be there accordingly if you signed up to go. I'm going to be dropping an email sent to the cook rep sometime tomorrow. And then one thing that I'm going to ask y'all to kind of help me with is for the SGA alumni cookout, the way that the portal that we're using to try to really channel our alumni gathering, I don't know. And so it's a Facebook group, and so we've changed it from last year being just a Facebook group event to an overall UCA SGA alumni Facebook group. So if y'all are avid Facebookers, please get on your please get on your Facebooks and search UCA SGA alumni, and I will approve you to be in the group so that you can get updates, and then once your time here has passed, you will still be able to be plugged in and see what else is going on in the SGA world here.
And if you know alumni from SGA, please add them in there as well. So, what questions do you all have? Okay, Senator Askew.
We have to postpone meeting last week because of their patrol interviews, but we will be meeting this week.
Okay, awesome, thank you. What questions do you all have? Okay, Student Resources, Senator Ramirez.
Good afternoon, everybody. Report. So Senator Burton, so from the doctor, Senator Kilgore, so we have national stickers. Senator Carter is getting into their patrol. We see expanding hours during final week. And the Senator Compton's meeting on procedure to test out a trial of the free learning service and see if it works out in the dorm, but you can talk to Dr. Seagull about it.
Awesome. you have a question? Yes, Senator Slager? Yes, please stand. No, you're fine.
What hours were you planning on extending during finals week for Bear Patrol?
Right now, Senator Grinder is going to get in touch with the patrol to see if they can extend the hours during finals week. It's not very set just yet. It's going to explore and see if the possibility of doing that.
I do have a quick question. Do you mean Bear Patrol or the shuttle service? Bear Patrol. Have you gotten in contact with Senator Askew and people with Bear Patrol? I assume
Human
that's why
resources.
you're
That's
asking.
why I'm asking, yeah.
Yes, not yet.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. Thank you for asking. What other questions do you all have? Okay, awesome. We will move into university committee reports. Are there any university committee reports? Oh, Vice President McAfee.
And so we got the dates for the Dean of Student Search Committee and preliminary rounds of like reviewing candidates will begin in 2 weeks. So it's starting soon. So I'm really excited. Updates come.
Awesome. Any other university committee reports? Senator Barnes.
So core council met last Tuesday or last Thursday. Yeah. Whatever day February 6th was. That was the day they met. So we had like a lot to talk about, not on like actual action on like classes or anything. We actually talked a lot about just kind of like the goings on of the assessment subcommittee and the curriculum committee. And we did approve some political science, nursing classes for the majors themselves. And then we also discussed getting a first year seminar subcommittee. And the chair, Dr. Held, like asked if anybody wanted to be involved, so I raised my hand and I told him, because I really like the FYS situation. So he sent us an email, so that's like, I'm in that now, I guess. So that'll be updated most of. Anyway, that's what happened.
Thank you for volunteering for that subcommittee. I know that you will have a lot of fun with that. Any other university committee reports?
Okay. Last Tuesday, I met with a polling site action group to talk about what we can do with the kind of polling site situation. And it was a lot of students coming together along with Dr. Graybill and Dr. Mel to kind of talk about what we can do to get the polling site back, and also what students can do to engage other students in voting education, including voter registration and education on absentee ballots. So if you want more information about that, I would love to share it with you, or if your group that you are a part of participates in voter registration drives and you'd like to be added to the Google Drive with information about that, let me know and I would love to add you. Awesome. Thank you.
Any other university committee reports? Senator Barnes.
I have one thing I missed about the core council. It's kind of important. So March 12th, 12th and 13th, and then 14th and 15th, Dr. Held and Dr. Combs, who are like the chair and co-chair of the core council, they're going to be presenting on they're going to be presenting on core assessment. Yes, core assessment. And they're going to tell you what happens when they assess the core in DOIN. Believe during X period. You know what? I'm going to get back to you on that.
Awesome. So like an open forum.
Yes.
To walk everyone
It's
through the
presentations.
process. Awesome.
Yes.
Right. So if you're interested in seeing what happens when they assess the core, this would be a great opportunity at Academic Affairs. Okay. Any other university committee reports? Okay. We have no unfinished business, so we will move into new business. Senator Vice President Riggins.
Okay. I move that we suspend the rules on Monday, March 12th to allow Senate to meet at Molly's Country Cooking at 5 p.m. Business casual attire will be suspended for this event, and then I included Constitution, Article 5, Section 1, and then clarified something with this.
Are there objections to this? Everyone like jumped all at once to second it, so I'm assuming not. Okay, awesome. We're gonna make it happen. Woohoo! We're not going to do a roll call vote for that, so yay, hope you guys are excited. Senator Gilbert.
I move that we suspend the rules for a cause. I move that on the next regularly scheduled meeting on February 19, 2018, we suspend the rules to allow the wearing of any shoes for any senator who donates $5 to the Relay for Life event. Donations will be made at the door of Senate. At the time of Senate, only cash will be accepted.
Second.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded that on the next regularly scheduled meeting on February 19, 2018, we suspend the rules to all the wearing of only to allow, sorry. No, it says all.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. To allow the wearing of of any shoes to any senator who donates $5 to the Relay for Life event. Donation taken at door. At time of Senate, only cash will be accepted. Discussion on the motion, Senator Gilbert.
We did something like this last year where we took donations at the door for wearing sneakers, and I think it would be good to allow that to happen again this year. And this year, since they made the idea for doing it for Relay for Life, I don't remember if that's what we did for last year, but I thought it'd be a good idea to be able to help them out without, reaching into our reserve accounts or anything like that.
Vice President Williams?
President Walwood, you field some question.
Yes.
Do we have any special guests coming to you on Monday that we would need to be dressed more appropriately for?
Forgive me for not having that. I have that keep check.
Okay.
Good point. Sorry guys, usually I would not have my phone. Sorry guys. Okay. While I am waiting for it to load, Senator Lockings.
I was unaware if I was to make this a friendly amendment or a motion, so I wrote a motion card anyway. But could I move that we change the $5 donation to $1 minimum?
That would change the,
So I would make the motion.
Just made the motion.
Okay, I have the motion already.
yeah, it can't be a friendly amendment because it changes the.
Okay, I move that we change the $5 donation to $1 minimum.
So, okay, please bring it up. Okay, I did get an answer. Okay, we will have a visitor, Haley Fowler, with a day of giving, but it's, yeah, okay, just wanted to let you guys know that. Okay, it has been moved and so that we amend the motion to change the $5 donation to a $1 minimum. Senator Lockins, discussion.
I just think $5 is asking a little much for a senator to require them to do it, and I feel like a $1 minimum allows us to all donate, but also if you would like to provide more to the cause, you can do that at your own jurisdiction.
Great. Any other discussion on the amendment? Is anyone confused? If you are, it's okay. No, it's not required. So if this does pass, it won't be required. It's just to offer an option and help a good cause. Senator Gilbert.
I rise in opposition on the amendment because the whole motion is not required at all. You're not required to donate $5. And I think $5 per person who were to donate can go a long way to being able to help. And I know we're all poor. I'm poor. I don't have a job. But I know that I'll find $5 in my piggy bank somewhere with all of the coins that I have, even if it is coins. So.
Senator Persia.
I would like to rise in support of the minimum being $1 because I feel like more people would participate if it were at a lower cost for us than if it was
Senator Sierra.
I raise in support of the amendment or just because we're college students now, as she said, as Senator Persia said, it will allow more people to collaborate if they want to. Although I think it's a lot.
Is there any other discussion on the amendment? Okay, it has been moved and seconded that we amend the motion to change the $5 donation be changed to a $1 minimum. So, roll call vote.
Abbott.
Yes.
Askew. Audress. Foley.
Yes.
Barnes.
Yes.
Berkla. Burton.
Yes.
Hale.
Yes.
Clark.
Yes.
DePersia.
Yes.
Eddie Lucero.
Yes.
Gilbreth.
No.
Gomez.
Yeah.
Maria Gomez.
Yes.
Greider. Hall.
Yes.
Hawkins.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Kilgrove.
Yes.
Lockings.
Yes.
Lavera.
Yes.
Mason.
Yes.
Marbley. I vote yes. McGarity.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Morrison.
Yes.
Osile.
Yes.
Bath.
No.
Ramirez. Riggins.
Yes.
Sander.
Yes.
Sebastian.
Yes.
Sierra.
Yes.
Slager.
Yes.
Stock.
Yes.
Tarka. Teeter.
Yes.
Vick.
Yes.
Waitsman.
Yes.
Whitby. Willie.
With 36 yeses, 2 noes, and 0 abstentions, the amendment passes. So now the motion reads that it be a minimum $1 donation to suspend the rules for the shoes. So now we are voting on where discussions. I will get it together in a minute, I promise. Okay. We are now going to go in to discuss whether or not we want to suspend the rules to allow senators to wear shoes if they donate $1 minimum. Is anyone confused? It's okay if you are. At the next scheduled meeting, so February 19th. Okay, resuming discussion. No, okay. Is there any discussion on the motion? Is anyone confused? It's okay. Okay, awesome. Alrighty. It has been moved and seconded that on the next regularly scheduled meeting on February 19, 2018, we suspend the rules to allow the wearing of any shoes to any senator who donates $1 minimum to the Relay for Life event. Donation taken at door at time of Senate, only cash will be accepted. I'll call vote.
Abbott.
Yes.
Askew. Audros, Foley,
Yes.
Barnes,
Yes.
Burklow, Burton,
Yes.
Kale,
Yes.
Clark, DePersia, Eddinger Lucero,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Gomez,
Yes.
Gomez,
Yes.
Greider,
Yes.
Hall,
Yes.
Hopkins, Johnson,
Yes.
Kilgore,
Yes.
Walkings,
Yes.
Lavera,
Yes.
Mason,
Yes.
Marbley, I vote yes, McGarity,
Yes.
Miller,
Yes.
Morrison,
Yes.
Osile,
Yes.
Bath,
Yeah.
Ramirez,
Yes.
Riggins,
Yes.
Sanders,
Yes.
Sebastian,
Yes.
Sierra,
Yes.
Slager,
Yes.
Stock,
Yes.
Tarka,
Yes.
Teeter,
Yes.
Vic,
Yes.
Weitzman, Whitby, Willie.
Okay. With 38 yeses, 0 noes, and 0 abstentions, the motion passes. Okay, so Senator Walkings will be collecting money at the door. So of course, this is not required, only if you choose to do so. You can donate more than $1 if you would like to. So just extra info. Okay, we will resume the business. Senator Teeter.
Move that the UCA SGA allocate up to but not exceed $1,000 to help sponsor the ROTC 5K. The funds to come out of the reserve account.
Okay. It has been moved and seconded that the UCA SGA allocate up to but to not exceed $1,000 to help sponsor the ROTC 5K race. Funds to come out of the reserve account. We will recess for a few minutes to allow Finance Committee to convene.
Just me in my office.
Hey, if you're not in finance, work on this. Put your last name on it. Or initial and last name if you are Gomez.
Oh.
I love that.
You're fine.
I love that we have a little system. Rose, can I all of them. I'll cut that. Okay, that's
Excuse me, are there copies of the resolution? Extra copies? I don't. Oh, so like or I guess the motion. Or no, wait. For the relay for live.
yeah, these are motion cards. So here's I cannot do this.
It's fine. Yes, is that I don't usually get
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Que José Miguel puede que me acaba de salir semana más porque José Miguel va a salir de
so they're not. So what's the resolution?
And what is your visa?
JHICKS. When you all have routines minutes done, it's usually after I do my scoring. Yes, I've I just but since it wasn't resolution, I don't. There's not much. I guess there's not much else that I can get from you. So I don't know. Thank you very much.
Qué mal español.
Senate back in session. Okay, so I am going to veto this and yield to Vice President Babb on explaining my reasoning of why.
Awesome. Okay, so this isn't fun, obviously, telling people that we can't give them money, but in this instance, given what the funding would go towards, as well as the process that they've chosen to go about asking for the funding, goes against the Constitution. So finance voted this down for those reasons. So this, we understand that, like, obviously the time sensitivity is probably most likely why they came to us. They're kind of in a time crunch. Again, we have emergency staffing for that reason. Every organization is able to apply for emergency SAFA, and then the finance committee reviews that and decides based off the limitations as well as kind of the scope of what the organization is requesting for, the newness of the organization, kind of the timeline, and also their ability to apply through the typical SAFA process. All that's kind of weighed in on emergency SAFA, which I think this would have been a candidate for. However, given the description, they're asking for bibs and t-shirts. Those are two large things that we don't fund. Those are giveaways. And I understand, like, registration bibs, like, you need that for a race. But again, it's something that's going with that can hold inherent value after the date of the event. So that, along with the fact that this should have been through a SAFA or an emergency SAFA request, is why finance voted this down. And to kind of help clarify, I know that we discussed an event the other week where we sent group to we helped funding for a group going to New York. So the difference there is that, again, that was not, they were not an assembled RSO. So again, they were a wind ensemble group who, 50 students is trying to get to New York so they can perform upon request. This is an RSO trying to host an event. This should have gone through SAPA, and hopefully in the future, if groups like the wind ensemble can kind of assemble and then come through as an RSO, then they can request through these processes. So based off the information provided there and no external information, that's how finance committee made their decision.
We will resume new business. Is there any other new business? Okay, I am going to give a little background on the previous, again, if noticed, previous notices have not been brought up, and we will be pushing them back. And so in the special rules of orders, it says that copies shall be presented at the Senate meeting, and minutes were sent out on Friday. And so in the spirit of the rule, we are going to push all previous notices that we were going to be voting on tonight to next week, and the ones we were going to vote on next week to the week after. Yes, correct. And so just to allow you guys more time to look over those. So with allowing you more time, look over them. And so just to help clarify any confusion, and then in the future we are going to work out a system where you will get those in a certain amount of time and things like that. And so just to honor the rule, that is the explanation of why. Are there any questions on that? Yes, Senator Gilbert.
So does that mean we will be getting paper copies of all of the things? Because I believe that's what the Constitution said, or are we going to try and change that and still get copies, just not necessarily paper copies?
That is in discussion. So I've been in discussion with Senator Morrison on possibly clarifying the rule or figuring out a system. The reason why paper copies were not provided was because of the amount of paper it requires, so to be environmentally friendly. So it is in the works. Yes, Vice President.
Yeah, so to kind of clarify, so what it says, and this is thanks to Hank here for kind of helping catch that. So what it states in the Constitution in regards to previous notice is kind of ambiguous. So it doesn't actually state that it needs to be in paper. It just says that a copy needs to be presented. to these members in attendance where the previous notice was given. So what President Lawley was saying about coordinating with Senator Morrison is that we're hoping to kind of clarify that so that copies will be given to the people in attendance, but the copy doesn't necessarily need to be paper. It could also, I mean, it could be an email copy. It could be something, but we're more concerned with the timeline. So we want to just make sure that that's clear for people.
Are there any other questions on that? If you're confused, it's okay to ask questions. No? Okay. Any other new business? No. We will move into announcements. Are there any announcements? Oh, Senator is up. Mason, please wait on me to call on you. That's okay. Senator Mason.
Hi, I'm glad to be bringing some good news. I talked to Vice President Ryan this morning, and basically I got a letter from a student, and he was asking about potentially creating an app for the UCA ECHO. So this is what it reads. It says, to the gradual death of newspapers and the declining literacy around the United States is proof that the society is evolving and people are choosing different ways to retain information. So as people or servants of the community, we have to evolve to meet the needs of the people. One way to attack this goal is by building a vision that everyone can work towards. I don't know your vision yet, but as an online editor for the Echo newspaper, news is important for a number of reasons within a society. It's mainly to inform the public about events that are around them and may affect them. News can make people feel connected. It's as important as social gathering space, and where there's a lot of people gathered, there are a lot of opportunities to advertise. So in order to build a community where students have voices from their rooms while being updated about all campus events, we need an app, but not just any app, an Echo newspaper app with push notifications to instantly inform the user the second a story is posted online. Instead of students having to go to their email or student center to know about events, the app will tell them. Also, one-click sharing so users can share their favorite articles to their social media sites, which gives not just more exposure to the newspaper, but for SGA, SAB, or any school event. So what he's basically doing was he pitched an idea. He told me about how much he thinks he needs, but I talked to the Vice President. He said, depending on the kinks and stuff like that, we might have to work it out. But I remember him saying that basically, I believe in July is when we have a contract with USA Today, and this will be designed from a UCA grad. So this would be someone who wants to develop an app for UCA, and it would be designed for UCA purpose. So, I think is a good idea, but we still need to understand like our contract and legalities and things like that. But if anyone wants more information, I have this handout, and what I was talking to Vice President Ryan, we were talking about potentially sending out a survey to students through SGA to see who's all interested in personable Echo newspaper app. For me personally, I think it's a wonderful idea. I think it's a great pitch, and I think that it could definitely make a difference in students' lives, because I see so many students, they're walking around campus like, oh, I didn't know that event happened. Oh, I didn't know this RSO exists. Oh, I didn't know this club meeting happened. Oh, I didn't know we could get free pizza and door prizes, Oh, I didn't know, all these different things. Yeah. And I feel like this is a way to connect people, because just like we have a UCA app, an Echo app would be something that, we could send out, welcome freshman week and say, hey, download the Echo app. This is your one-stop shop for like all your campus news or events. So I think it's a wonderful idea.
Awesome. Yeah, I will definitely put that on the agenda for our exec meeting, and we will discuss and see what we can do with it. Thank you so much for this. Oh, Senator Eddie Sarah, do you have a question?
Will Senator Mason or Vice President Pfaff yield to a question? What is the projected cost of this, if there's any preliminary number that they've thrown out that it would cost to create such an app?
Yeah, so to be honest, I think it's inconsequential right now. It doesn't really matter. It's so preliminary that the cost is not really something I think we're concerned with. I think if we got to the point where this was something that was actually going to be, the future of where we're going, then we can start incorporating costs into the discussion. But I say that, like Senator Mason said, we start with actually making sure this is something that students want.
Yeah, and then once we know what students want, we can go into the phase of looking at the legalities and things like that, and then possibly potentially rolling it out in the fall or spring. So that's kind of where we're at. So
Awesome.
I'm excited about it.
Thank you for that. Senator Lucero?
The Student Evaluation of Teachers University Committee was scheduled to meet this Friday, February the 16th. They have canceled that meeting because they are inputting Smart Eval historical data into the new PAWS system. So that meeting has been rescheduled for Friday, March 16th.
Cool. Senator Maria Gomez.
This is like a month in advance, but I still wanted to go ahead and tell everybody anyway. I'm part of the Academic Assessment Committee, but unfortunately I won't be able to be a part of it because they meet Wednesdays at 3:30 and I have a lab at that time. So if anybody would like to help me out and go instead of me, I would really appreciate it. I contacted Mrs. McIntyre to ask her if they're only meeting that day and at that specific time for the next month. I'm still waiting back on a response, so I'll keep you guys posted. But if anybody would like to help me with this meeting, I'll appreciate it.
Yes, so if you can, please. Oh, yeah, Vice President Reagan.
So yeah, kind of tagging along with this, she is our student representative, so we fight really hard to get all those spots that we have on university committees. It would be a shame if there was no student representation on the whole committee, because nobody. So if you have that time, you should advocate your students in that time. I would love to, but I'll be in class.
Sorry.
I just wanted to add one more thing that I left out. Also, he mentioned that this could be a way of student worker positions or things that we added to so there would be some manpower behind it, but the app will work, do a lot of things automated for us. It'd be a way for certain students that need a work study job or to gain experience in journalism or anything like that, that they could gain that experience that could be transferable to a full-time job after graduation, which could also be beneficial.
Awesome, thank you. So going back to Senator Maria Gomez, if that time does work for you, please let her know. It is very vital that we have a student voice on that committee, so let her know. Vice President Reagan.
Okay, cool. So thank you for filling this out. 4 of you didn't put your name on it, and I kind of want that. But also, 2 of you picked fried chicken as your option, but that's a given. So if you did that and you want to pick something else to vote for, you just kind of threw away your vote, that's really sad. Come look at it closer. Try again. The 4 that don't have names are sitting right here. One of them is in pencil, so hint, it might be him.
It's definitely me.
That's so embarrassing. Also, rules and ethics is definitely going to meet, so you're not rules and ethics. Please meet quickly, but also SAPA's meeting, so if you are both, do SAPA first, and then come to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a lot of overlap, but you'll figure it out.
Senator Gilbert.
Okay, so I have 3 announcements. I'm sorry. So announcement number 1, ROTC Fun Run. I'm gonna donate out of pocket, and if anyone else would still like to donate to them, I'm sure they'd be willing to take any donation, no matter how small. Number 2, my sister has actually decided that she's going to UCA next year, so she's coming to UCA. I'm pretty excited about it. And then number 3, the following senators: Senator Bali, Senator Stott, Senator Mason, Senator Lucero, Senator Ossolet, Senator Whitby, Vice President McAfee, and President Lalu, and myself were selected for Who's Who this weekend. And
What y'all do?
No one else was going to say anything. say is, I do have an extra ticket if someone else wants to go, just in the room or something.
To the banquet?
Yes.
There's food.
Oh, yeah.
Is that your ticket?
No.
Okay. All right, thank you for that.
First come, first serve, if you want to go.
It's a question.
You have a question?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, it's like something. TJ's not here. The senator will be.
Yes.
So I don't know if you want to contact him.
What?
Want us to share with him in announcements.
Oh, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be in the minutes, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Miss Shaw.
There's a blood drive tomorrow. You can get blood. So many people have the flu and been sick, and there's a shortage. So come to the student center, get a cookie, then her.
Vice President.
Over the next 9 days, until the presidential town hall, PR committee will really be pushing the link to add questions. So please be sharing that on your social medias and with your different RSOs and classes that you're a part of. There's a lot of opportunity for students to come and, ask questions one-on-one. So please be helping to share this. And reminder, it'll be February 21st, 6 p.m. right here.
Senator Markley.
Yes, two things. So, first, I want to shout out the rest of the committee. Like, y'all are awesome. Y'all rock. Two, unfortunately, I can't attend staff on Thursday. On Wednesday, February 21st. So I need someone to step in for me for just that one day. And if you make that committee, it'll be the 21st and 28th for hearings and deliberation. So just let me know if you're ready.
Point of information. What time is that?
From 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. Approximately.
You say
it
Wednesday?
It starts at 4 definitely. Anytime is approximately.
You say Wednesday?
Yes, the 21st and 28th February.
Awesome. Please get on that if you can do it. Mr. Hammond.
Our graduate student who does our marketing for us has got a full-time job offer, so he will be leaving here shortly. Still doing his MBA online, since it's mostly an online program, so he'll still finish his degree. But he's got a job in Dallas. So that means we have an opening for someone who would like to work with us for marketing. So if you have any students or friends that are very good at creating flyers, doing web page design, those type of stuff, working those type of things, please put an application into Carrie Ann, who's our marketing / aquatics person over there at Direct Center.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yes.
Who is eligible for this?
Any student.
Any undergrad?
Grad or undergraduate. You can't be a graduate assistant somewhere because that makes complications.
International too?
Yep.
I think you have two applications right here. Okay, any other, Senator Hawkins?
As you know, whoever's graduating, the application to put in your, application graduating that close. So whoever's graduating, congratulations to you. I'm one of those people too.
Are there any other announcements? Okay, I do have one. So newly chosen senators, I emailed all of you, so please stay after for a short training. And then just something as a side note, so this past week I was in Washington, D.C., and I got to learn a lot about friendship and making connections. So as leaders, sometimes we get so caught up with doing that we forget to create long-lasting relationships and friendships. So I encourage all of you to get to know each other and get to know your stories. I think the greatest knowledge tool that we have is each other. So that is just me sharing what I learned. And so if you ever want to get to know me, I'm an exciting person, or any of us, or really anyone in this room, and advisors. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. And with that being said, the meeting is adjourned.
All right. Everybody's happy.
This is you. Why is it? Why is it clear?
I'm going to give you this.
What's your name?
The sponsorship for the golf.